This is Sherry Smith, Chairman of CELCAB, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we'll begin with roll call. We'll start with Carrie.
Gary Henderson.
Lori Wolf. Barbara Hill.
Sherry Smith.
Ellen Vaughn.
Becky Werner.
Karina Brites.
And Jeff Hauge.
Okay.
And I don't know if we have a call in. I don't know if it actually, I know.
Is that Jim?
Could it be Carol?
Okay, good. Jim? Or is that Carolyn?
I bet that's Jim.
Can you hear me okay?
Well, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah, I couldn't get through on the Zoom video, but I was able to get in through the phone call.
Perfect.
So I
Okay,
apologize.
that works.
That'll work.
That's worked.
Okay, thank you. And we'd like to recognize Jim Adderholt as our advisor. Also, I'd like to welcome Lori Wolf as our new member. And welcome. We're glad to have you on board. And also, I'd like to give recognition to Barbara. She has just been wonderful these last, I don't know how many years. I wish she were sitting in this seat, but she's beside me, so I feel confident. Thank you, Barbara. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, we'll begin with the approval of the minutes. And if you remember, we did not approve, I believe it was September's minutes. So do we have does anybody have any additions or comments on it? Have you read it through? If not, I'd entertain a motion for acceptance.
I so move. Barbara Hill.
Second, Becky Werner. Becky, second, okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Then we also need acceptance of our last month's minutes. Has
I'll move
everyone?
to accept the October 23rd
Okay.
minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, excellent. Okay, we have public comment. I see Brianna.
Break. Public comment?
No. Brianna, would you like to, our excellent archaeologist?
Okay. Can you all hear me? Okay, excellent. Hi, I'm Brianna Vaccaro. For those who don't know me, I have been with the Mound House team since last July, 2024, and I've never had the opportunity to come and officially introduce myself to the members of CELCAB and tell you a little bit about myself while I'm qualified for my job at the Mound House. So I wanted to take a couple minutes today just to say hi and introduce myself. Like I said, I joined the team last July. I moved here from Georgia specifically to take this job with Mound House, and so far I have absolutely loved it. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to work with our amazing collection and Mound House's history. So it's an honor and a privilege that I'm very blessed and thankful to have. So I just wanted to say that right off the bat. I obtained my bachelor's degree in anthropology and history from the University of West Georgia. I graduated in December of 2016. I worked a little bit in the real world, and then I returned to the University of West Georgia in 2021 to obtain my master's degree in public history and museum studies. I did a dual program with the Atlanta History Center, where I worked with a lot of prominent museum professionals, so they kind of helped shape me, and they introduced me to the world of collections management. So that's how I came to see you all. I specialize in field work and classical Mediterranean archaeology, so indigenous archaeology, especially working with Florida archaeology, has been very new to me, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of our volunteers and various members of CELCAB and the team at Mound House who've really helped educate me more on the Calusa. I grew up with learning more about the Cherokee and the Muskogee tribes and stuff. So the Calusa was a very new topic for me, and I appreciate the opportunity to fully embrace that. And it's been a pleasure working there. During my undergrad, I worked at the Antonio J. Waring Archaeology Lab on the campus of the University of West Georgia, in which I was chosen by the museum in South Carolina to start cataloging an American Revolutionary War collection that had been excavated in 1977. I am really proud to say that I got it the furthest that any other research student had ever taken the the collection. It was in absolute and utter chaos, so I'm pretty well equipped working with our collection right now at Mound House and getting it under control. And then when I returned 6 years later to get my master's degree, I was actually asked to return back to that same collection, this time in a leadership capacity. And I had a team of 8 undergrads under me the entire 2 years working on it, where we started cataloging it and rehousing those artifacts where they're stored today in that repository at the Waring Lab. While I was also in graduate school, I did an internship at the Okmulgee Mounds National Historic Park in Macon, Georgia. I worked with the collection from 1933, and it was the site of one of the largest archaeological excavations in U.S. history. They have an amazing earth lodge that is still almost fully intact there, so if you are National Park Service goers, I highly recommend a visit. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And so I was able to work on that, and during that time, I worked with their collection. I did emergency excavations as well, and I photographed and cataloged a portion of a new collection there as well. So I have a little bit of experience and a lot of passion, and I appreciate the opportunity to work here at Mound House. So thank you all so much. I am always available by phone, email, or just pop over to the Mound House, see the collection, see our brand new Artifact Preservation Center. So I'd love to show it to you all. But I'm always available for anything that you guys might need. So thank you so much.
Brianna, I just have a quick comment for anyone else. Can you just, till you came to us, we didn't really have a collection detailed. Well, can you just tell everyone right, I'm trying to be nice, okay? Can you just tell everyone, like I said yesterday, the thousands and thousands that are watching online, just the importance of doing that and briefly just why it's important?
Absolutely. So we are held in the public trust, which means we are legally responsible for these artifacts and these historical documents. We are legally obligated to take care of them and preserve them for future generations and share them with not only just the visitors of Mound House, but all of Southwest Florida and the entire world. What we do is absolutely so important because without finding pieces of these history, we don't know about the past cultures that came before us. And I believe passionately that if we don't know our past, we have no idea what to do with our future. So it is archaeologists like me, it's historians like me who are tasked with maintaining our species culture and educating future generations on how to also take care of our history so that we can keep progressing.
And I will just add that since Brianna's arrival, there is much more emphasis on us focusing on the archaeology, which in hindsight, we had been missing, and now we're not missing it. And I think that's a very important development.
Exactly.
I have to go back and say, I helped way back when we were sorting little plastic bags of bits of pottery and shell.
Yep.
And those were the artifacts I knew about. Well, what I found out that there's a whole lot more, and what I really learned from Barbara Hill, who explained to us how very important this whole process is. Also, Adam Knight took me aside and sat me down and said, okay, we own these things, but we have to show that we do. And, all of that paperwork and incredible stuff has to be done. And then I'm going to say one thing that I've learned about Brianna in a very short time is I don't know anybody who has more enthusiasm for the Mound House and this process of cataloging all of this stuff. Anyway, thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's my privilege. Thanks
Yeah.
for allowing me the opportunity.
And if you get a chance, hopefully everyone, listening is going to go on a tour of the Mound House. You can see her in action. It's really cool. I thought that was one of the coolest things about having the collection there and having Brianna up, with the window in there where you can see and getting, once in a while getting a behind the scenes tour, is that there are thousands and thousands and thousands. And we do have not only a responsible want to show this history, but a legal obligation too. So having her on here is super important. You've done just a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
And also, too, maybe in the future, we may be calling upon you to do a few programs for the public.
Yeah.
Because I know that people are just so enthused about the archaeology, if that would be agreeable with you?
Absolutely. I'm always willing to help our education team develop programs to bring archaeology more to the forefront because, as I like to tell visitors when they come in, not only are we a historic house museum, but we're also an archaeological site and we're also wildlife preservation. So not only are they getting the history of the Mound House, but they're also getting that archaeology history as well, and seeing all those beautiful native plants and native species around. And so they're getting, I like to call it a triple threat. That's what I like to tell our visitors. So they're getting so much more than just a walk through a couple of exhibits. There's so much amazing history to explore there, and we just have to be brave enough to go deeper. And so I'm happy to be a part of that.
And Brianna, you're more than welcome to add what you're currently working on as far as your program, the behind the scenes tour.
Fabulous. I'm super excited to announce that starting at the end of this month, I believe, or starting of December, we are launching a brand new tour with me called Archaeology and Archives. So 30 minutes of the tour will take place outside, walking around the grounds, discussing the Calusa occupation, the building of the Shell Midden, and why it's important, how we know what we know about the site through the study of archaeology, what archaeology is, the tools involved in archaeology, and the history of the excavations that took place on site between 2002 and 2011, and why we have our collection in and of itself. And then the other half of the tour will take place behind the scenes with me in the new Artifact Preservation Center, where I'll get to educate them on collections management. The collection itself, they'll get to have a view of the collection and see why I do what I do and what I'm currently working on. So I'm very, very, very excited about it, and I cannot wait to share that with you guys.
Excellent,
Very nice.
excellent. Karen,
I'm
did
sorry,
you-
and since she's here, I also want to toot her horn, as I did in CELCAB yesterday. If you watched, and the staff at Mound House, when we had to make those tough cuts, or when council had to make those tough cuts, there was a risk that we weren't going to be doing as many programs. I mean, that was one of the thoughts, was we didn't have the staff to do it. We didn't want to overwork them, but as you can hear, there's a ton of good stuff going on, and each one of those staff are not only doing their job, but doing a little piece of somebody else's job, which I want to thank you and the rest of the staff, because I don't do that very often, but I should do it a lot more often, because they've been doing a lot more with less, which is good. And we had to make budget cuts for a reason. I understand that, but they really have stepped up, and not only do their role, but to make the Mound House even better. And I think the programming there is just phenomenal right now. So thank you.
My pleasure. It's a team effort. Archaeology's not done by itself. History's not discovered by itself. It's a team effort, and I've got the best team.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brianna.
Yay,
Thank
very
you.
nice. Just a quick question for Karina. Am I?
Karina?
Karina, do we have Brianna here for the rest of the meeting to discuss the collection management policy? Because if we have any
Because we're-
questions, you'd be the perfect museum professional to
True.
ask, especially now that we don't have a museum director currently. Hopefully that can be part of the staff report, is to update on that. But yes, great. Don't go anywhere, is my
Yeah, we're asking you to stay. Okay. Okay, anyone else for Brianna? Then we'll move on to the staff report, and we have Jeff and Karina.
I'll just start with that question that I got. It is currently posted. We haven't got a chance to go through the resumes yet and the applicants, but we will be doing that shortly. We have a leadership meeting, so I'll ask what the status is on that.
Is the job description and the actual requirements the same as it was when Adam was applying?
I believe so. I'd have to go double check, but I don't think we did any modifications to
Didn't
it.
change anything? Okay, great.
No. And we do have, Sandra is back as our visitor services at the museum store. So that was one of the positions that we had to initially reallocate, but now that we have this opening with the museum manager position, we have a few funds to allocate to that for the year, since it's been open now for a little bit. But we were finding that with all the good work that the staff are doing, having them sit in the museum and help with tours and starting the tours and the museum store probably wasn't the best fill for what they were doing, although I do appreciate them doing it. So Sandra's back. She's happy to be back. We're happy to have her back. So that's just another staffing change. And it doesn't change the budget at all, it is what it is. Yeah, then I'll just I do have to go at about 1:55, I have a meeting at 2. So if you need anything from me, shout at me now. But I'll just give an update on Newton. We had the bid opening for the design, I believe it was 2 weeks ago was the opening. We had 4 bids for the design portion of it. We decided as a selection committee that we wanted to take at least the top 3 and do interviews with them. So the CDBG DR funds, it's a process, of course, and if you watch CELCAB at all, we discussed it kind of in length about the pool. But so normally what would happen is we do the selection committee, we could select them and then just start working with them. And for the CDBG DR and the Lee County and the HUD requirements is that we do 2 interviews with either one or however many we want to do, the companies we want to do. So we picked 3 because they were all really close and really qualified. So those, and I'll let everyone know, it'll be a public meeting, so I'll let everyone know when those will be. We're with the holidays, it's tough to try to get everyone together, but we want to do it obviously before the Christmas break or the holiday break.
Yes.
For all of these, but we do have 3, so we have 3 really good ones, and we're looking forward to their presentation documents were great. They all were familiar with the R2P2, how we did that, and I think that's a big part of it. And I just want to say in public that this was vetted. We had what should we call it, charades? With the R2P2 that we kind of designed, as a community. They were invited. They kind of designed this thing that we all were happy with. So, and I presented it to the board. And Lori, for you, I think the only new one. I'll get that to you if you haven't seen it. But I think this one should be fairly, I don't want to say easy because nothing's been easy.
This one.
That one, yes,
Yes.
correct.
Oh, I've got that
That's the
here
one
too.
we did,
Here's
yeah.
this one.
Yep. So we will push through once we get the design done and have it. So it has to go to design first. Once they're ready to get to for that part, they have the design ready for bid. So they'll put a bid package together. We'll put it out for construction bid, and then we're back to putting it out for 30 days, waiting 30 days for the cool off or the whatever the period, and then we'll have the bid opening and then the 2 more interviews. So the money's still there. I just want to, like I told them with the pool and the North Water Tower, the money's there. It's just been a process, and I get it. That's the process we have to go through. They're not delaying it. Lee County's not delaying it. HUD's not delaying it. We're not delaying it. It's just been a process. So right now, it's just Newton Park is fenced off. The bathroom trailers are there. There's paid parking. They do beach walks. Still now. We are working with our team to get it cleaned up just a little. There's some debris still from, I think they pulled off the beach and just kind of put there after a storm. I think there's some logs and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we're working on it, and then we'll probably get it raked and just make it look nice in there too, until we start the process of construction.
We're starting to get more people to park there, so that's good for all of us to raise money. But also there's no doggy poop bags there. A lot of people walk their dogs in there because the Newton Park was known to be very dog friendly.
Yeah.
And there's no poo bags on either side. So we really need to
Okay.
get one put in there. There's one down the beach from us, but there's nothing there in
Sure.
front of, so we need that because a lot
Yeah.
of people bring their little dogs there. I mean,
Of
a
course.
lot.
We'll try to get one there and by the restroom trailers.
Yeah,
Just as people
I
are
think
walking.
that the restroom is great, but I do think down by the beach because that's where everybody's like.
Yeah, and
That's where there always used to
I'd
be. Both of them used to be there with a
Yeah.
trash can right there, and they're not there anymore.
Okay, no, I'll make sure to get one up because
Yep.
I think every other access probably has one. I'm not
Yeah,
sure why that.
I know the ones down that way does, but yeah,
no,
yeah.
So
yep.
no, I'll make a note. They can get that put up really
Yep.
easy. So we have
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Is there a sign mentioning that the beach walks are happening in the date?
That's what I got.
A sign?
There's no sign.
No,
I'm there every day, so no, there's no sign.
I think a sign would be,
Like, do you put them up as you're there? No, like a sandwich board that says beach walks. I wonder-
We used to have one, the brown sign.
Yes, the brown-
The brown sign
brown
is
sign.
still, well, I don't know, that's not there anymore, you guys, because that's right by my condo, that's not there anymore.
yeah, I don't think anything.
Yeah, I think
nothing
that's even
survived
gone.
again. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it would have a brown sign saying, and if the times and the dates are likely to change, maybe just say beach walk begins here, and then a QR code, something to that.
Sure.
Give them further
Well-
information, but doesn't tie you to something that may change.
Yeah, they could just do the beach, they used to have just beach walks on there,
Yeah.
and then we could put a QR code right there, and that would take us right to the website.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Actually, the QR
Couldn't the QR code give you even more information about what was there or something?
It'll take you to the website.
It would, yeah, it would
or
just
wherever they
take you right
want.
to
Yeah.
your,
Oh,
the
okay.
information.
Yeah,
so.
they'll take care of that, yeah.
Okay. Who is doing the beach walks?
Emily's currently doing
Emily
it,
is
yes.
doing them, okay. And what is the time again? Is it still,
It's on Tuesdays at 9 a.m.
Tuesday is at 9, okay. Oh, you got it. Okay, okay. Karina, do you have more that you want to go over?
I do. All right, so visitations at the Mound House are starting to pick up. We hosted a total of four groups this month so far. Kayak tours, we had 21 bookings for the month as of today. Yes.
Good.
As far as events, we had movies on the Mound. We had 25 visitors. We added some lawn games. It was really fun. We are showing the next one on December 20th, and we're hoping that we have more visitors then.
Someone have a sponsor? Does those have sponsors?
Yeah. On November 29th, we're going to have a museum store bazaar sale, and we'll have 15% off store-wide and 35% off selected items. So that will be something fun. November.
November 29th.
And
And does that coincides with Shop Small Day?
exactly, yes.
Yeah, okay.
The museum is going to be closed Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. For Christmas, December 24th and 25th. And for New Year's, December 31st and January 1st of 26. And closures will be posted on social media and our website. We are also trying to revamp our volunteer program, who's working with the Friends of the Mound House to get that started, scheduling a volunteer fair at the Mound House sometime in January 2026. So we're really excited about that as well. We're going to follow up with a museum assessment program today. We are very happy to announce that the Friends of the Mound House approved a funds for $25,200 for the use of public relations, $7,200 for public relations, match for arts and attraction funds, $5,000 for general promotion, $5,000 for merchandise for resale at the museum gift store, $3,000 for education supplies and programs, $2,000 for web services, $2,500 for training, and $500 for printing and binding.
Excellent.
So very excited
great.
about that,
Excellent.
and it's something that we look forward to spending.
Wonderful.
And I think it makes
That's
it abundantly
great.
clear that the Friends of the Mound House are completely committed to doing whatever is possible to support the physical facility and its programming.
Yes.
Yes, and that's great. I don't think that's wavered, but thank you for reiterating that. We've
Absolutely.
always appreciated,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, everything that
Yeah.
the Friends has done for the Mound House. And some of you are members of the Friends, which is great, so
We wanted those thousands of people watching to be sure that they knew.
thank you. I
Yes.
like
Yes.
you embrace the thousands of people and no one's nervous about it, so.
So we are happy that the gutters are finally done at the Mound House. Yes, that took a little bit of the sun. The staff, well, we're still working on the repairs, maintenance and repairs of the Mound House. We're still working on that. The story app, staff, we're still working on doing some tours, but we're not there yet. Just wanted to, just left it there about the artifacts, the documentation and provenance. I guess we're still working on that. It's, yeah, well, it's still there, pending. One of the things that I wanted to mention you today is about story file. And this is something that we learn at SEMC. And it's an interactive AI tool or exhibit that where visitors or residents will be able to speak, ask questions, or engage with a person that we choose. It could be, for example, our first mayor, or something like that. So it's something amazing to preserve our island history and the stories behind our island. So if you look at the report on the last page, there is a picture of a sample of how that will work. So the person selected to do this, and this is just an idea right now that I'm pitching, will spend about 2 to 3 days recording stories and the history of the town, or whatever we choose. And once that is done, they work with AI so that you can actually speak to that person, ask questions, and the person will
That is great.
will respond, according to everything that we have there.
You have to
So-
ask the right questions, though.
Well, you do have like a list of, of
Wait,
things
guideline,
that.
When you
A
refer to-
guide,
When
correct.
you refer to they, who are they?
I'm sorry.
When you're referring to they, who are they?
Speakers?
You mean the people asking the questions?
No.
The visitors.
Oh, the
Speakers.
visitor.
Correct.
Any visitor that comes in.
Can
And
ask.
so is this a program that the museum, AAM sponsors or funds, or how does
No,
this
no,
work?
it's not funded.
practically?
I just wanted to introduce it's not a program, it's like an exhibit kind of.
Right, that's what I was
it's-
wondering, 'cause
But
obviously-
we will have to fund it. It's not.
Do you
yeah.
have an idea of what that involves?
Well, as far as the monetary.
Yeah, I mean, just.
It's somewhere between $130,000 and $180,000.
No, let's not get hung up on that,
It's
because
just-
this is
it's
just
an
one of
idea.
the companies that probably does it.
Right.
When we went to a conference in Tampa with the town manager, the deputy town manager, and Frankie, we went to the trade show or whatever was there. The booths. I would guess that 40% of the booths were AI related.
Yeah.
All of
We
them.
know that's a big deal. We want to get the right information out too. I know you can go to AI on your computer and all that, but you don't really know if you hope it's accurate, but you don't know if it's accurate. So what this would do is it would pull from our archives, pull from our documents, our meetings, and give the information through there. So it would be actual information that we've already done. So let's say the town would get it, and you'd call up and you'd say, hey, do I need a permit for a fence? It would generate an answer for you, like, oh, you need a fence if it's this setback or this high. So it takes all your information, so it's not pulling from the web, it's
No.
not pulling from everywhere. It's actually, we've met with a few companies, and it's just fantastic. I mean, the customer service alone, that it would help, would be great. I know a lot of people want to talk to a real person, and they certainly can on that. You can say, representative, or may I speak to somebody, and they'd give you. But I mean, on the weekends, after hours, this is something we can maybe put on a chat bot still on the website, and they could ask questions about Mound House too. So I think as we get there, I think it's AI, just crazy these days. You hear it everywhere, and it came on so quick.
Yep.
But the important part is that it would be pulling our information and not information some third grader wrote a report about the Calusa on. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You got to take it for a grain of salt, just like everything else on the internet. But this would pull our actual information, our actual statutes, resolutions, those kind of things, our history of it, all that would be.
And the longer they keep using it, the more active, like, it just becomes even better and better. Because when someone asks a question, it'll automatically, we have a lot of clients that we use it for on everything. So, yeah.
So the story file one where there is basically a narrator. So,
Correct.
correct. So is everyone, or are people familiar with the Shoah Foundation? This is a Steven Spielberg project.
Yeah.
Where they interviewed Holocaust survivors.
Yes.
And they interviewed them
I
in
think
settings where.
this photograph, I think, is from that
From the Shoah
presentation.
Foundation?
Yes.
So the way they constructed that, for those that are not familiar with it, is they interviewed people to capture their voice.
Right.
And so they have their vocabulary, their tone, whatever.
Yep.
And then you can ask it any question, and it will answer you in their voice.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Yeah, we
really
went
And so
to-
that's been around, I mean, Shoah Foundation's been started probably 20, 30 years ago. So it's really, that part's proven, and I think AI has just sped it up.
Yeah, and there was we went to another speaker, and he said, he asked for somebody's phone number. So he typed in his phone number on his phone, called the person back. It came up as the guy's wife and her voice. It can go, that's how AI works these days, so just be careful. It was incredible, like, he called him right there, didn't know the guy, so, there is obviously good and bad. People are using it for really good reasons and sometimes not. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but this has potential, especially with the cuts that we might have. Yeah, it might be an investment, but every time we do another resolution or we talk about a certain thing that we do, it pulls from that information. So we can add information, it's adding all the time, which is great, so.
Is this?
Yeah.
Is this only
We
for
need like
people?
500 for
Would
that.
we be able to draw from like the Graces or anyone in the past? Probably.
I don't know if you could go back on and see a video. Can they capture it from an actual video? Like if Bill was talking or?
Well, as far as this one,
Uh-huh.
this particular company, they will have to, it has to be a live person.
Okay.
They have to
All
go
right.
to California and record for a couple of days.
Right. Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, but the potential's there, and I'm glad. We weren't even talking AI, and when we met this week, and she brought it up, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is right up everyone's alley these
Yeah.
days, and it's great. So.
Yeah. So I just wanted to plant a seed there, just nothing, but, we can continue researching and see what we can do about it, in the future.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing that I wanted to mention is the Anne and Dan Hughes loop. And we talked about the Dan Hughes loop, but as I included the resolution on your package, and it does spell just like Anne and Dan Hughes on section 2.
I know that's a discussion item, so if you guys want.
If you want to,
we
I
can-
can, yeah.
Holiday decorations, do we have a budget for holiday decorations?
We do have some donations that we can use towards that.
Okay,
and,
and do you
um,
have, were any of those decorations in the past damaged from the storms?
Oh, we have no decorations at all.
what? I'm sorry?
We don't have any decorations at all at this time.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
what I'm hearing is that we have no decorations. Whatever decorations you have is from a donation.
Correct.
So you're saying that basically there's not going to be any decorations that now?
Well, we do have donations that we can use to purchase some decorations.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, cash,
Yes.
cash donations,
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think they're going to do a lemonade sale too. No. So I guess should we just discuss that as it's here because that's on that's
On
items
the
for discussion
agenda?
E.
Okay.
And this is kind of what we had talked about on Tuesday a little bit during our meeting about doing something like this towards the entryway. I know we talked about something on the fence, which we could do too, but just open I know we had this discussion a little bit. We had a month to think about it. Any other thoughts
Right.
on what it may look like for you all?
I like the idea that it's kind of rugged. And I know usually the woman's name is supposed to go first, but really it was Dan Hughes who,
Yeah.
What is it?
it's Ann and Dan, and. who
So
had-
you
I'm
all,
just saying, it could be anything we wanted, I'm assuming.
although because it is a resolution that was passed by the council, if you
Oh.
wanted to change it, you all could recommend that it's Dan and Ann Hughes. I'm sorry, it has to be like that, but since the council already approved it, so.
So was there
No,
money
that's,
set aside for this? Because this involves a purchase and a budget item. Can we go back to the Hughes family if we've determined what the cost will be? Simply because we've had so many budget cuts this year? Or
Yeah,
maybe
it-
we have to delay this until
Let's
we
go
do
to
have
Murphy,
adequate?
get Murphy to do
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah. I remember when Ray came before us, he was so adamant about having this because the Hughes family had donated so much money and time to, so it was an honor coming from us.
Would
So-
it be appropriate to go back to the Hughes family, as in Mike and Dana, and is there a third child? But anyway, ask whether they prefer to have their parents' first name or have it be the Hughes family.
I mean,
I
that'd be
like that
appropriate
idea.
too. I mean,
Hughes family.
we've
I-
waited, when was this, 2000?
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three
I
years
think we
ago.
can wait another, till our next meeting to do it, or,
Okay.
you know, it's gonna take, it'll probably take like 3 to 4 weeks to get it on the council agenda anyway, if we wanna change it. I think if it's in the best, if the Hughes family would want something else, I think they would okay that.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the council, but I think that would be fine. And the cost, I don't think it's gonna be
That much.
all that much. I mean, it's not gonna be like a FDOT or, FDOT road sign or anything. It's just gonna be a little thing out front. I'm thinking maybe like 12, 18 inches.
I don't think we even need to have it that big. I think we were all kind of thinking about something about 12 inches.
12 inches, that's fine. And we can have,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
that's okay.
It's
Yeah.
so small.
Yeah, I'm not,
Based on how many
Right.
letters.
And if it's
True,
Hughes,
yeah.
Hughes family would make it, I think.
Hughes family loop or something,
just-
yeah.
So, and then would that money come then from Mount House funds, or would we have to go to the Friends?
As it sits now, there's no stipulation on funding for it. There's no budgetary item on the resolution. So we would have to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is a resolution, so we want to do it and honor that as what the council wanted at the time. I'm assuming, and I hate to assume, but I'm assuming they were thinking it would just come out of the general fund, not knowing the budget
Okay.
status we were in now.
Okay, great. And I know, Ellen, you have on Friends some contact with Mike.
I do.
So I think, if we can feel
I will
out the
take that on.
family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then-
just go ahead and ask them, that's
Yeah,
totally
I will.
That
appropriate.
would be great.
Is that how you spell Hughes?
H-U-G-E-S.
H-U-G-H-E-S.
That's right.
That's how it was in the
Oh, no, it's not.
resolution,
Oh,
too.
look,
Right.
they
It's
put
not- no,
H-U-G-E-S. Yeah, that's even
Oh.
spelled incorrectly.
Yeah,
There's no
H-U-G-H-E-S.
second U.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
this is just
That's
for
just a
discussion
sample.
purposes only.
This is
This is
AI. AI
it's-
did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
I thought that looked
exactly.
a little
I know. Are there any more comments on this? I basically like the rustic looking one, but, and
The more
on
of the copper
stone.
looking one?
Yes,
Well,
I sort of like the
Or
tree
whatever
stump,
that-
too.
to
Oh,
be
do we have
honest,
any
I don't
trees
like
right there
either
that
one
have
of
to be
them.
cut down? We can put it on there
I didn't want
and
it in the
avoid
first
the
place,
cost
but,
of the base. Got any dead trees around? that-
Well, you could do a tree and lacquer. That
oh,
saves
yeah,
it.
Yeah, Ray came.
And actually
Ray-
Seth,
Ray
the-
came
the
before
public
us
works
again.
guy at the Mound House, the grounds, he's very creative, so he could come up with something. So I bet the
Put a lot of
cost wouldn't
trees
be,
in
I mean,
front
for a sign 12 inches or
Well,
whatever,
Yeah,
I don't
just
think it's
something
gonna be
small, I don't
crazy.
want-
And
yeah.
this
But-
looks way too formal, and I just think it needs to be far less obtrusive. Just something more
back.
simple.
Yeah, this
Are
is,
you,
this is one thing that we want recommendations on from you all. and
right, as
we're
far
not-
as colors, or not the size, you wanted like the 12 inches, right? And what about colors?
What do
I
people think
like
about
the-
the new signs that are based in a rock? Do people like those colors that are
Yes.
the wayfinding
Wayfinding
signs?
Oh,
on
the
rock.
wayfinding.
Should it be similar to that?
Or similar
Oh,
to
yeah,
some
but
of the
then it's like a
botanical
historical.
signs.
Yeah, or
In
the
terms
botanical
of-
signs.
Yeah.
And that material that the botanical signs are on.
They
I
could.
think that would really sort of be in keeping, because we've got to get new signs anyway.
Right.
For the new native species
Right,
plants that are going in.
exactly.
Perhaps we can dovetail this project with
You
the
know what?
signage necessary
Maybe
for the new
that's-
plants.
Maybe that's a great idea.
I think that works out, because then that sign could be paired with the
Yes.
look of
Right,
the
right,
botanical signs.
exactly.
Actually, I really do like that idea,
Yeah.
because then when you drive in, there you go, it's there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a loop.
Yeah, and this.
Well done.
Yeah,
Well
this,
done.
this could set a precedent too
And
for
that's
many
why-
We've only been
future-
talking about it for 3 years, so
Yeah,
we'll get
I know,
there,
I was
we'll get
gonna
there
say, we
sometime.
can wait 4 weeks also.
No, I mean, we do want to honor that and honor the Hughes
Yes,
family
okay,
this
I
way too, so.
appreciate you address that.
And
Any
I
more?
put also a map there, so if you want to take a look at the location of the sign, I put some, there are some red spots for potential
And somebody
ideas.
mentioned on the gate, you know?
Yeah,
Front
I had mentioned that.
around
That
the
would be-
gate.
Just
area
right
in the
on the
front.
gate?
Right on the gate. You wouldn't even have to,
Sure.
You don't have to put the,
But then it won't be
right,
there.
exactly.
ground.
Yeah, exactly. So, great. Any more discussion?
Yeah,
on-
we'll figure something out.
Yes,
Chair?
yes,
I would just say from afar here, I love this idea. I would not be too concerned about the council. With respect to, I think if you talk to the family and get their wishes and then design and place it where CELCAB thinks would be best for the Mound House, I'm 99% sure the council will be very supportive of your recommendation.
okay, excellent. Thank you, Jim. That helps a lot. So,
Yeah.
does anybody want to make a recommendation now? Or do we want to?
I would like to make a motion that we, after having reviewed what we've been presented today, that we delay the conversation until such time as the botanical signs are going to be made for the new native species plants that will be installed, and have this match up with what those signs will look like, which, again, will match up what we already have in place. And those were Megan Kissinger's botanical images that were in coordination. So that's my recommendation.
Second.
All right. Okay, the recommend,
A motion, sorry.
yeah,
and
it's a
there would be
motion. A
second.
motion
I
has been
second.
made and seconded that we delay for maybe 4 weeks or so, consult with the family and make the sign, so it's going to be complementing our, the foliage signs, I guess we'd say, the botanical signs. So, all in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Karina, do you have anything more?
And one more thing about, and I believe this is a question for Barbara. I believe at some point, there was talk about the naming rights policy. Do you remember talking about it, or have we ever?
We had the
believe-
same conversation yesterday at BORCAB, too.
Yeah.
It is-
Yeah.
So, you want me to just recap kind of what our
Yes,
conversation from that?
definitely, it says relevant for this
Yeah,
advisory
and
board is.
And I did reference it CELCAB yesterday in the BORCAB discussion about this. We're trying to do a townwide, I guess, policy on naming rights and how we take in donations. I know they're sometimes two different things, and how we recognize individuals. So I just threw out there for BORCAB, how we would do the Murph Award and the Mulholland Award once a year, and it would go up. We're looking at somewhere in here to back up that tree or something. The tree's in kind of really bad shape after, so I don't know if we would do a mural with something like the image of that tree, or we'd actually recreate another tree. But to have something that way to recognize somebody every year with nominations, I think, there's just so many people out there, Mound House, the town, Bay Oaks, whatever, that have contributed, whether financially or, with their time and their effort. It's hard to say, we'll have a bench for this person, but not this person.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
And I don't want to discount anybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. I don't want to minimize anybody's efforts. That I don't want to do, and I appreciate everyone, everyone's thoughts on it. Wanting to memorialize people and those kind of things. But I think, how do you do that? There's how many people, like how many benches could we put at Mound House, and that we don't want to do. Or we don't want to dedicate rooms to people or that kind of thing, because where does it really stop? And I feel bad because there's been so many people, and there's been people that have kind of rose to the top a little bit more and had a little more influence on it, but as we continue, it's going to be hard. As people come in, they leave, those kind of things. It's really hard to memorialize people, and where do you stop? And I'm not, and this has nothing to do with any individual I'm thinking of, but it's just really hard. I know that then it would be if we did, something on that tree or something in the office or something in the, I think there's a location that Karina, we were talking about on Tuesday that would work. So I don't know. We're just recommendations because we want to do a townwide policy, but we also want that to incorporate, people and our facilities and how they came about and the efforts that have gone into them. So,
Has anyone reached out to other, obviously this is an age-old problem for every organization
Correct.
that has people that do stuff.
Mhm.
Has anyone reached out to other towns, other institutions, I'm thinking of universities in particular, who face this all the time, to find out how they developed theirs and what kinds of changes they've made?
yeah, I've done a little bit of research on municipalities. I'm just starting to dig into certain ones and just see what they do, and even naming rights if we went that route. I know that's a tricky one too, but if someone wanted to donate $500,000 to Mound House, we'd probably want to think about it.
I think we wanna.
So I'm not a huge fan of it, but I know like I go to a lot of sporting events, and you have the
Yeah.
Karina room at the Mound House or something. It's not, they don't rename it, but I don't know what that might look like, but at least we need a policy to go forward with it. Because if somebody wants to come in and give a ton of money, it's really going to be hard to say no. But if we don't have a policy to back it up,
Right,
You're going to have to accept it because you can't turn down $500,000.
right.
well, we can. I mean, the council can deny any donation that comes in, but
Yeah,
I don't think they ever have.
That's not going to happen.
No.
So have you
no.
found that there are many municipalities who have tackled this and have come up with their own policies?
There's a few so far that have it. I can't speak in detail. I haven't dug that much into the weeds, but there are, and we actually have advisory boards that do it now. Murph is a good one. They have somebody, they nominate somebody every year, and they get the award. So we'd take nominations, you all would discuss it, and we would award somebody, for whatever reason. But I don't know the criteria. We'd have to talk about the criteria, what that is, is it?
That's an award that's presented to them. It's not a plaque or a permanent position on a
Right.
wall or
Yeah.
a building
Right,
or
right.
a road.
It is.
And-
Remember on that tree, they'd have a little leaf.
The
Right.
plaque.
The plaque,
The plaque.
Okay,
yeah.
so Murph has a plaque that they put on.
Remember the tree that was in town?
Yes, I
So
remember.
on the plexi, there was Murph, there was a bunch of different organizations, advisory boards or volunteers. So like, I gave the example yesterday, and I hope Jimmy's okay with this. Younger Jimmy D'Amelia, at Bay Oaks, he got on there like as a 13 or 14-year-old for some volunteer work. So at Bay Oaks, so he was nominated for that. So it wasn't just advisory boards, but
That was the tree at Town Hall?
yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
that tree.
It was like plaster. It was like, I don't know. But after the storms, we still have it. We honestly still have it, but I think it's beyond repair.
Wasn't it metal?
It was metal.
The plaques
It was
were
metal
kind
with
of
plaster
glass.
around
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then there was plexiglass, and then the leaves were like bronze.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So
I mean, I like the leaves on the tree, and they can be added, and then, Mount House could have another tree with things, and CELCAB could have one on one of the buildings, and,
But you have to have a policy. as to-
but you have to have a
Right,
policy.
right.
I think it's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I would prefer for any advisory board not to be that specific, but for us to look to the town.
town to
And
do
have
it.
the town and
Yes.
the
I
town
agree.
council
I
really
agree.
speak to that and make up that policy
Right.
for which then we would abide by.
Right.
Right.
correct. And I think that then the recommendation would be to have your own award, as CELCAB, and they would
Sure.
honor that and then go forward. But yeah, we're looking into it. I know just leadership in general, we've been looking into it for a couple months, but with other stuff going on, it's.
I know.
But it is an important topic. I know obviously we've talked about
It
it
is.
how many times, and
Okay.
it's hard. For me, it's even hard to say because there's so many good people, and I don't want someone to be left out, right? That has done such a great job, but so many people have done great things,
Well, for
at
so
the
long.
Mound House and
Well-
for the town over the last how many years?
Yep.
It's
Put
hard.
enough benches on the mound, people are gonna think other people are buried under those benches, so I think too many benches is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Well, I was.
just like that.
I was going to make a motion earlier that we kind of strike that number D under items for discussion, just because of what we've been going through today.
Right
And I know,
Yeah.
well, Carolyn is not here also, and I know, things like that mean a lot to her. So I was going to ask if we could table that maybe till January, till we get some more information.
Yeah, and we'll work on it as a
And
town.
everybody,
as-
I was
yeah.
gonna say, if everybody would give it good thought as to what they would like to see, and think about the tree, we could do anything we wanted, really. It wouldn't even have to be a tree, it could be something that was with the Mound House, or the tree could be uniform throughout the town, too. So I would like to ask if that's okay, just to table that for, till next meeting.
And can I recommend that everyone take it on as a homework assignment, that they
Mm-hmm.
look into some, like, I'll scope out higher ed. I will contact higher ed institutions and find out there. So pick an
Okay.
industry. and-
Okay,
Yeah, I'm assuming they have some naming rights because they get some
Yeah.
multi-million
And
dollars.
Right.
and
But
I
Right.
know, I know of controversies that have arisen because of
Yes.
naming of things about people who were still alive.
yeah.
that's another one, yeah.
It's a
And,
big one.
We
Yeah.
even had the
Even
discussion
some of
about
the
Newton
dead
Park.
people.
That too.
Their names, names.
There too.
Bad idea.
Exactly,
But anyway, so
exactly.
I know a lot of people have given it deep thought, and I think if
Right.
we go and try to collect some of those thoughts and then bring it back for our
Yeah.
discussion.
Right, if we could do that, bring it back in January. Think about it over the holidays, good time to,
I know it's disingenuous, but just thank you to everyone that supported Mound House. How about that?
Yes, right, exactly,
You know who
exactly,
you
yeah.
Is there
So,
somebody that could contact the Edison Ford Estates? Because I do remember about 15 years ago,
that
they
would
had
be
a
a-
huge controversy about naming rights, because there were plaques on the building, and the director that came in, who was Chris Pendleton at the time, said, we've got to professionalize this
Yes.
entire institution.
You know there's gotta
they've
be-
been through it.
Yeah, there's got to be precedence somewhere.
Right.
And I know municipalities do.
They've- Yeah, they've had to live with this, so
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know what their solution was. Maybe their policy is something we could model.
that we could, that
It's
would be
definitely
a-
something to look into because it is a touchy subject sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
For
And
sure,
that would be a
so-
good comparison, I
Yeah.
think Edison.
But we are,
Ford-
like I said, we are having the same issue town-wide,
Okay,
thinking
yeah.
about it town-wide and advisory boards and that. I know Murph does, keep bringing that up, they do have a pretty good program as far as their nominees, and so maybe we can look at something like that too.
We spent a lot of time when we built the library
Sure.
to,
Sure,
Right. yeah.
because of all of
It's-
the donations and,
Right.
how we dealt with that. And,
you did that.
I'll write something up for how we dealt with that.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
great
Okay,
example, too.
thank you. And then I would like to move on, because I know people have to leave early, but it's very important that we vote on our collection management policy. I'm going to have Barbara go through it, because she's worked on this for so long, but we do need to approve it so it can go on to council.
Yeah, and I just want
And-
to kind of bring up that this was, it was a report by an outside agency, so
Right.
it kind of is what it is, so we can either recommend to approve it or
Right.
just deny it and start over. I mean, not start
Okay.
over, but, some of the stuff in here, it was a recommendation from a professional. It was a report, so I just wanted to put that caveat out there that,
Okay, all right.
And I know
Just
we,
a deny it or approve it, right?
but can't we,
we can talk about it,
But I
but,
think we can,
So-
Barbara, would you like to go over some of the points? And you said there's some
What
changes
about
also.
typographical error?
there we go. Those
All
kind of
right,
things,
thank you.
definitely.
All right.
well, we had
Okay,
also
s-
talked about the things that we thought were not reported accurately. We would have create our own response and have it be an addendum.
Well, this was, yeah.
To the collection management?
No, that
I've
was
actually
to,
reviewed
was
it.
to
It
the
is-
assessment.
Oh,
As
okay,
far as
okay.
I'm
Yeah.
concerned, it was incredibly detailed and beautifully written, and I want to thank Adam for all of the work that he's done to professionalize our Mound House. This was an incredible document that took a tremendous amount of work. Our MAP committee not only did this, but a number of other things having to do with governance and operations, but kudos to Adam for pushing this along and the fact that this was done before he left.
Right. And
Yeah, and I know some of the stuff in there was not easy to read at
That
times,
was- right.
but it was an outside perspective of somebody that had been in this field for a long time. And it just, it was, you take the good and the bad out of it.
Right.
Well, it
well-
is, it was my profession for about 20 years.
Exactly,
and I
yeah,
can
you too,
tell
Barbara.
I'm very impressed. There was very little, if anything, that I wanted to
Well,
change.
let-
It's a mere typo or.
Right, yeah, okay. Let me just explain, too. There's two documents here. What we're talking about today is the collection management policy.
Correct.
And that really does a lot with Brianna, and it really addresses us acquiring artifacts, who's responsible, what the policy is.
If I may, I'm sorry to interrupt, I need to go, but if
Okay.
we want Brianna to come up for this,
Sure.
this
That'd be great.
discussion,
That would be great.
she's way more knowledgeable than I am, so.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thank
Okay,
you all. If you have
thanks,
questions, let me
Jeff.
know.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yes, have a good holiday. We
Thank
won't see
you.
you guys till January.
January, right.
Yes.
And I'll just
And-
clarify that my comments were with regard to not
Yes,
this document, they were
right.
to the
That's-
other document.
That's what I want to clarify. It-
I
we have-
also want to add, if you don't mind, that I know that Adam started writing everything, but it was in collaboration with Brianna. So it was really
Was that with the
right.
collection?
Correct.
Yeah, and so I think what a lot of us are talking about is a museum assessment program.
Oh.
That's the nice, big, thick one, and that is the one where we had all the input and everything that a lot of us had some disagreements with.
I don't have that one.
I don't have either.
Oh,
That- We didn't get a new one, I mean, we
You
received
must have
this.
gotten it on your email.
This was
You just
quite
have to go
a
back
while
and
ago.
This was a year
download
ago.
Oh, okay.
We
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
this in
because you have
October.
it in here.
hold,
I was here, I wasn't just here last.
But this was last year.
but this is
This
the
is from
one,
last year.
this was
Oh,
from,
okay, so that's
it was
the
from,
big one that he was-
yes,
This was
yes,
last
yes, so,
Okay.
okay, and Lori will have, we'll have to get Lori a copy of that, if that's possible.
I will email
Right.
both
And,
committees.
but the one that we're doing today is the collection management policy.
Right.
And I've read through it twice, and I think it's very well done.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much on acquiring artifacts, the policy on if you loan them, if people want to, if you need to dispose of them. It's got pretty much, I think, everything in here as far as the artifacts and collections. So this is what we'll be talking
Yeah.
about today. So we need to vote on this, so this can go to council.
Yes, and I will add, Adam did start it, I did complete it. The last thing that I did to it was added the recommendations that the map reviewer asked of me to do. I did extensive research into other institutions' collections management policy, and kudos to Adam, ours is double the size of most institutions. So when I tell you it is very detailed, it is extremely detailed. Many other institutions, big, large institutions, don't have a policy this detailed. So
Perfect.
it was really great of Adam to do it this detailed. So I think it covers all bases. I don't have it memorized. It's been a minute since I've looked at it. I don't have it in front of me right now. So I'll take everything you say, and I'll take a look into it. But if anyone has any specific questions about it, I just do my
I'm
best.
still trying to memorize the mission.
There you go.
But I think it's very well done, and we do need to vote on this, correct? Does it have to be
Yes.
today?
So-
So,
I'm thinking for the purpose of discussion.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to accept the
All right.
collections management policy that Adam and Brianna have collaborated on in conjunction with other people.
and discussion,
Yes.
We need a
as
second to
in-
discuss it.
I'll
please.
second. Okay, okay. Discussion?
Okay, yes, I had a couple of issues, mostly typos.
Oh,
There
sure.
was one on page 6, in the last paragraph, under conflicts of interest. It's the collection that falls within the Mound House division. It's just a T that needs to be added, just again, minor. The wording in that same paragraph says are prohibitive from actively collecting toward private collections. I think it should read prohibited from actively building private collections. It's just a far smoother conversation. So, and again, this is really interesting because it points to the advisory board for being part of the accessioning and the de-accessioning committee,
Right.
which I don't know if you're aware of that, but I just thought that was really interesting. So I guess my question is, does that mean that that involves all of the people of the advisory board, or will there be a selection committee from the advisory board to serve on the accessions committee?
I believe that might be a decision that's completely up to you all. It is my recommendation that the committee should be a little bit smaller than the
Right,
current
that was
size,
my concern.
just to prevent any, too many chefs in the kitchen,
Yes,
Correct.
as I like to
exactly,
say. Sometimes it can be a snap decision. Other times it does take something a little bit more, that warrants a little bit more discussion. So I think a smaller, more intimate committee comprised of anyone on this board would suffice.
Okay, great.
Is there a certain size you would recommend?
I would honestly say 3.
3.
I would,
Yeah,
I would
that's
say
what I was
3 so
thinking.
that,
3 would
the
be
majority
wonderful.
rules, whether to accession or de-accession, something.
I'm happy
Yeah.
to hear you say that, because that was the number I was thinking.
There you
I
go.
know, I was thinking that
It's my
too.
favorite number.
Yeah, and that actual amount doesn't have to be in this document, but I'm
Right.
glad to hear you say it would be a selection from the advisory board. That made that
Right,
was a question
yeah,
that I
'cause-
had. And the forms you had that would be accompanying, which is under your records, that's really extraordinarily well thought out. Congratulations, Brianna.
Thank you.
Well done.
I can't take the majority of the, Adam
but it's-
really,
Well, but
truly
it's the
put
fact that
so
we-
much into this and
Yeah.
did so much research, and I just kind of dovetailed on the end of it and cleaned it up a little bit, added the sections that the map reviewer did, so I cannot take all the credit, but I appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, some of it, just a very little
You can
tiny
take some of
portion,
it.
thank you.
We all stand on the shoulders of those that came before us.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Adam taught me
exactly.
so much. We were the exact same age, but he's been in this field longer than I, and he was so instrumental in me coming into this field. This is my first job out of grad school, so he had a lot of faith in me, and I really appreciate it. He taught me so much.
And we do too.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you.
So the other, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I-
No, I just had a question, so go ahead.
Okay. With regard to the 6 inches of soil depth, with regard to the appropriate impact to our archaeological site, what about tent stakes? What is the rule for that?
We have already asked. I'm not 100% positive as to the official law about staking something into the ground. So far, with all of our events that we've had, like Moonlight Market, they did bring tents and stuff like that. We've asked people not to stake anything into the ground because we're an archaeological site, just to cover all bases. They've been weighting them down, bringing their own sandbag weights, and so far that's been
Right.
working really well. So we'd like to continue on with that. If we can mitigate as many times as we poke holes into the ground without, FPAN being there or somebody else, that would be great.
So I know all the tents that have been rented in the years that I've been involved, they've not been staked, they have
Right.
they have brought.
Water-
that-
water
water
barrels.
bottles.
The
Yeah.
water
Barrels.
Yeah.
The water
Barrels.
barrels.
I'd like to
Yeah.
continue on in that fashion, just to cover all bases and make sure we're not doing any damage to
And then when we start with the landscaping, Brianna, and will there be an archaeologist that would be there to determine the depth, which will obviously go down below 6 inches?
We can probably have a member of
Because that's what this
FPAN.
stipulates, it
Right.
demands
I
it.
would like that. I'm currently in the process of obtaining my registered professional archaeology license. I'm going to be starting the application soon, so hopefully I will be on staff and stuff to be able to do that myself. But in the meantime, I really would love to have a member of FPAN come out and be there, whether that's Natalie, her counterpart Mal from Florida Atlantic University. They would also be a wonderful person to contact. I would like to really continue our collaboration with FPAN in whatever capacity we can. So if we need to call on them, I think that would be what I would recommend.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I know that any time in the past, if anything was dug up or planted or signs or new wires pulled through there was an archaeologist
Absolutely.
watching out for it. And
Yes.
everything was sifted and
Yep.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's best practices, and that is definitely what I would recommend.
Okay, those are all the thoughts I had.
Okay,
Thank
all
you.
set? Okay. My one question, Brianna, was it so kept mentioning the manager, things that had to be signed off? And it was like the manager of the Mound House and then the registrar.
Right.
And would you be the registrar then?
I am. So my
Okay.
official title, as an employee of the town of Fort Myers Beach, I am officially the museum registrar. However, because we're not an accredited museum, where it's very rare that we do get donations and stuff. So as of starting back in January, my role sort of shifted to accommodate more collections management. So I've kind of sort of taken on the title of collections manager more wholeheartedly than registrar. But in my official capacity, I am the town's
Okay.
museum
All right.
registrar.
Okay.
So, but
Thank
yes,
you.
I
I
would
figured that.
be the same.
Okay. Any more discussion on the Mound House, the collection management policy? We have a motion, and it's been seconded, to accept, I believe, the collection management policy, and then send it on to council.
With
So-
changes.
And with the amended changes. All in favor, or do I?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all right, that's accomplished. Thank you.
Perfect. Yay.
Unanimous.
Amazing.
Yay.
Amazing. Thank you.
I know,
You did a good job. You keep us moving.
I know. So, good. Yep, that's my modus. Modus operandi.
Thank you so much,
So,
Becky. Thank you,
Okay, then we will, yes.
I'm sorry, I do have a question with regard to the collection. With regard to the documents that have been missing, what is the status on getting those returned?
I have not had anyone talk to me about it personally. I would love to have them back in hand, or even just a copy of them, just
Right.
something that would make my life easier, so I can really fully get started on the official cataloging. It is a little bit of a hindrance, but I am currently cataloging with the information I do have. But as of like the legal status and where it is in, I have not been told anything,
I think there's,
unfortunately.
am I correct in hearing that that is actually in litigation with regard to getting those documents back?
From what I last heard, yes, some moves were being made towards it, but I also was not privy to those conversations, so I
Thank you.
don't know.
Just needed some clarification on that, because that is so vital for the work that you're doing.
Right.
It's really sort of the mother lode of,
Right.
the nucleus of getting that properly
Right.
documented.
And I can actually explain that just a little bit further to what I'm struggling with. Typically during archaeological excavations, a very detailed catalog is kept for the field and then given to the lab in order to process the artifacts a little later. I have information on each of the grab bags that the artifacts are in. It tells me the date, the level, even the initials of the people who literally plucked it out of the ground. And it has numbers on it that indicate the collection itself. We have about 5 or 6 different excavations that took place here, sometimes simultaneously, especially during the restoration process. And unfortunately, without those original documents, it's very difficult for me to even place like a timeline when these excavations took place and what exactly I'm even looking at. Sometimes those markings on those bags, I don't know what they mean without those catalogs. It's almost like looking at a map without a legend.
Cross-reference.
Right, cross references
Right.
and stuff like that. Also, sometimes, it's been 25 years since a lot of these artifacts were pulled from the ground, and the bags, unfortunately, never being rehoused. You are supposed to rehouse artifacts every 2 to 4 years. And so it's been 25 years, and these bags are sometimes hard as stone. And when I was opening them individually for the tenting process, they were disintegrating in my hands. It was very distressing. And so that information that's on that bag is now lost because I don't have those catalogs that tell me what was on the bags. So I'm doing everything that I can with what I have. It would just be wonderful to have those original documents and start putting the puzzle pieces together what happened during those excavations, what was gathered during that, so I can start putting that into Catalog It, which is our digital database that I plan to use for the cataloging of the collection. So that's just why I really would love the catalogs, just to give a little bit more insight into what I'm looking at. But I am working with what I have right now to the best of my ability. There's an extensive amount of documents in our collection, newspaper articles going back all the way to 1995. I have every single one. So if you haven't come to see what's in our collection in the APC, please come. I'm happy to take you through and show you what we do have. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then also, just when Brianna first came on board, you were out in the storage area for I don't know how long.
6
dealing
months.
with that.
6
Yeah,
months.
so we thank you very, very much, Brianna, and we'll be by to see you. And also, if you want, you can be excused, or you can stay with us if you want.
I will stay because Karina is my ride.
Okay.
But
Yay.
I can go sit back out in the audience if you don't have anything anymore. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very, very much. Let's move on then to the strategic plan. And that's always a biggie. We need to set a date and to work on, and my question is, do we want a new strategic plan, or can we take the one that we have and revise it?
I would recommend that we start with it, and then as one of our first activities when we meet is to determine
If we need to or not.
if we need to or not.
And I actually have it. So, in reading through it, I mean, I think it's it covers a lot, but there does need some updating on it.
Lot. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
4 years, no,
Yeah.
soon to be 5 years. But I think what we were looking at was dovetailing this plan with the town's strategic plan. And if you remember, when we had the assistant town manager give a chat and introduce herself, she wasn't even aware that we, as the Mound House, even had a strategic plan.
Exactly.
Same thing with GORCAB.
Same thing,
So
right.
now that they're aware that we do have a strategic plan, it's hopelessly out of date, we want to make sure that they're aware of it, that they dovetail what our goals and long-term and short-term goals are with what the town is also committed to doing. So that we work with the town, that we dovetail some of these goals into their goals, I think that's the next order. But obviously, the level of detail will have to come from
Yes.
the strategic planning efforts that the Mound House, that the CELCAB would do. I would prefer now to wait until our museum manager comes in, when we have our new staff person, because as I've seen in the past, with every change of leadership, there are different priorities.
Right.
So I'd hate to second guess,
And
excuse
start.
me. I'd hate to second guess what the new director would be interested in accomplishing. So
Good
we've
point.
we've come a long way from the original strategic plan, that professionalizing of the documents and also the policies, and going for the MAP program. That was in our strategic plan for a long-term goal. We are well on our way to achieving that, and that'll certainly remain. But we have many more things, as you mentioned. We've got this incredible AI technology now,
Right.
and how is that going to serve our members, our visitors, our social media, all of that, operations. So yes, that was not in our original strategic plan, but that becomes on the top.
That's
top
true.
row.
Absolutely.
Well, then, can I have a motion then, maybe in that regard, that we wait then for a...
So basically table it?
Well, yeah, we can either table it or, okay, that would be, we'll just table it and wait till a manager comes on board and we can, because that's a pretty important document. And
is.
so, okay, excellent. Everyone's in agreement on that. I did somewhat want to table, like I said, D, just because there's so much, and we really have talked about it quite a bit. We're not going to make any decisions, but as long as does anybody want to add anything to it? And like I said, work assignments, think about how we can honor our cherished people.
Shouldn't we wait for the town policy on this?
Exactly, exactly. So there's several things we have to wait on. And we have pretty well covered the Loop Road. Does anybody have anything else on that? My preference was to put it on the gate. So, but we can,
And you,
do we please, yeah,
Ellen, you're going to talk
Right.
to Michael and find
Yes.
out what their preference would be
Yes.
about the actual wording?
Yes,
Yes.
I would do that.
Perfect.
that'd
So
be-
then we
that
could
would
come
be
back
great.
in
And then bring it
January
back in January.
Okay.
and make recommendations.
And having gone to the sunshine law policy, I will call Mike and I will put it in an email. I'll send it to Amy Baker and then she can
She
distribute
can,
it.
and she can do, okay, excellent.
Oh, okay.
That
Good,
makes it,
good.
on the record.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Excellent. All right. The Mount House landscape enhancement with native species. Ooh, Karina, are we?
Well, we do have TDC funding for, to start that project. We have not started yet, but we are in discussions with Seth, he's our maintenance person. And we'll start looking into this, whatever we need and what we're gonna start planting,
Okay,
so.
and you can bring it,
I'm sorry, what are we waiting for?
We're just working with Seth. We're not waiting, we're just working with him to,
David Sachs?
no, Seth Jacobs, he's our maintenance person, so that we can start hiring or finding this different plants and what we're, the decisions on what we're gonna plant and what we're gonna
Becky's
do there.
looking at me like, go ahead, Becky.
Do we still have the original landscape plan by David Sachs?
We are looking at it. Yeah, actually, Brianna wants to talk to you a little bit
Okay,
about it.
great.
I have every single binder that went into both the house's restoration and the landscape plan. There's, I think, 4 binders in total regarding the landscape plan. They are in the APC, so I am happy to deliver those if anyone needs to refer to those.
Can we
Okay,
put
sure,
that
I have that.
on our January agenda, that you can make that presentation and give us copies of what we've already accomplished and what still needs to be done as far as that master plan, and maybe some recommendations?
Sure, for native plants and species, about what was
Yeah.
done
Native
before
species, and to
what you had
add,
before.
to embellish what we've already installed, but more importantly, those that were damaged and destroyed during the
Sure,
hurricane.
what we had before,
What
what
we
we'd
need
like to
to,
have
right,
again. Yes,
right.
I can definitely
That would
look
be
through those
excellent.
binders and see what we
Okay.
see those previous plans,
I-
for sure.
I think we also need to have a discussion, because that original plan held the medicinal and scientific garden. And
That was
is that
wonderful.
something where it can continue? Because that is not at all native. But there were some really interesting things, like the moringa and the annatto and the
There was another one.
jatropha. It's not
K-pop.
the kapok tree, which didn't do well, so I'm not recommending that we plant one of those again.
Well, I would think that as we look at that plan that had been proposed, or had been implemented, we look at what survived Ian, because the
Yes.
likelihood of another submersion is not out of the realm of possibilities.
Thank you, Ellen,
Right.
correct.
I
You
would
have to
agree, yeah.
have, I think the operative word here now, based on our horrible experiences over the last 4 years, is that we have to have every plant salt tolerant.
And submersion
And that
tolerant.
would be, right, and that would be the operative, that would be the decision as to whether we do or do not. And I would say that most of the native species that are already on the grounds have been well adapted to that new environment.
It's a beautiful place every day when I come to work, so I believe you.
our
I
new
can definitely
reality.
work with Emily, our education coordinator. She has a degree in environmental science, so maybe
Okay,
she has
makes
some
sense.
clarification. I don't know anything about
Great,
plants.
great.
So I will do my best, but I do have all 4 of those binders from the original
Okay,
plan, so I will go
excellent. That'll
through
help.
those, and I can seek further clarification from anyone who, if I need it.
Great.
And so I would just share some information that I had obtained by talking to various people, and the Estero Island Garden Club has they have developed a list of plants that have survived being submerged.
Okay.
Because I think that's critical. And one of
Yes.
the informational pieces that was pointed out to me by many members of that group is that you need to be very careful as to where you acquire materials, because many things have been adapted and they are not as tolerant as the natives. So you need to go to a source where they're going to be able to identify whether this is a hybrid or this is not.
And Barbara, I take your point, but I wonder, about salt tolerance, but I wonder how many things would be advantageous to have maybe planted in a different spot that were destroyed by the flooding. So, if we went with things that were not salt tolerant, there would be no mango trees, no banana trees, no, I mean, that we might be missing a whole lot, which would be worthwhile, just plant them in a different place.
That's what I was going to mention, was we had that area with the fruit trees, the banana trees, and things that people had used in the past, and people really enjoyed that. So I would like to see that incorporated in the
And
landscape.
Maybe that needs to just be factored in, that a certain percentage of things, like it was called
like a
the
garden.
kitchen garden.
Right.
That you acknowledge that
Right.
if there is a flooding, we will lose the kitchen garden. And that whether or not, how you want to handle it, but I think that should be a discussion point. And the same thing with the
Yeah.
medicinal garden.
Right. Okay.
I will put it on my list to find those
I
binders
was
and
gonna
look
say, we've
through
given you a
the
lot.
original plan.
And the other thing I'm thinking is, that is more Emily's area of
Correct,
expertise, and maybe it should be a collaborative effort. And you could just show her the binders and
Sure. And Seth is very knowledgeable about those
Rather
things as
than
well.
dumping it.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure it can be a team collaborative effort to figure out what
That'd
needs
be
to be
wonderful.
planted and what was originally there versus what can be substituted
Okay.
to make it better.
Great.
And I hope we're not overstepping, Karina's role as museum interim manager, because obviously, you're running the show there, so hopefully all of this will be helpful to you.
Absolutely. No, everything is good, yes.
Yeah.
Good.
And with all your good ideas. So she's got some really great ones. So, and thank you, Brianna. And we're putting a lot of work on you. And January's going to be, we're going to have a lot on our plate in January. So, okay, we're going to, if it's all right to everyone, we're going to move on to member items. The underground? Did I miss an underground? Oh dear, we did. The interpretive panel for the underground. Thank you.
Do you have an update on that?
Right, that's,
Right now, we did remove the sign that was inside the underground museum, but, and we were thinking about putting it outside. However, the word is really outdated, so we don't want to do that. So we are looking into creating new exhibit panels, I guess temporarily, and we'll present those to you as soon as we come up with something.
At a
Come up
previous,
with wording, is that what you're saying? You're gonna come up with
Uh,
a draft?
A draft, correct.
Okay, a draft that you'd present at our January meeting?
Yes.
And would that be for discussion, or is that a decision as a staff person that you already made?
Well, I believe we'll present it as discussion item, so that
Yeah.
you can.
that we still have so many. And I know something, if it's okay to mention, something that Karina mentioned to me was she was thinking about virtual reality on what the underground was like, which I thought was
Right.
a
Yeah.
great idea and something for us to consider.
yes.
So I think that would
Excellent.
really help the
Yes.
situation a lot.
Absolutely.
So,
and at a meeting, a previous meeting, actually, I think it's come up at the last two meetings, we talked about having just a vinyl panels made so that they could go over, so people could see what it looks like in there.
right.
And did we have a motion and suggest that that be funded?
don't
So we asked our friends to fund
The
that?
problem with that is that it's really dark in there. And even if we put like a vinyl, a clear window to the underground museum, you won't be able to see anything.
Pictures.
It was,
No, this was just
Is that-
an image, that they just shoot an image of
Oh,
what
yes, 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 that.
Actually, the one that we
yes,
have of what it used to look like,
Yes.
Right.
just bake that into a banner and put it on the door.
Put it on the
Yes,
door, put it
yeah,
outside.
that's, yes, absolutely, that's something we can do.
There have to be some old pictures.
We
with
do.
even the ribbon lights in there, which show the.
We have
layout.
excellent
We
pictures.
could get, we could get
We have all kinds
recommendations
of
from the.
pictures.
And
Yes,
there's a picture in the new volunteer handbook that contains said image.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah,
I've been
and in our
doing
book.
when visitors come and who, we're getting recurring visitors right now back to the island. So obviously they haven't been since Ian. What I have really found helpful is showing them the picture in Pat's book of what the underground
I
used
do.
to look like, and then right after Helene, and Milton, I took a picture of what it looks like currently. So I'm really using that, especially when I do sit at the desk or just walk around the museum. I'm using that as an opportunity to show people this is what it used to look like. This is what it looks like currently. This is the effects of hurricane. And when that whole chamber, floods to the ceiling, it destroyed the electrical, capabilities in there as well. And get to show the opportunity of how much sloughing is occurring on the mound and where it has collapsed in a couple of places, and why it is at threat. And that visual aid really seems to be helping people, especially those who are, a little disappointed after coming back. So I figured that would be a really amazing opportunity to put on the doors of the underground, the before and after picture with some text, between discussing what happened to the underground. It is part of the history of Mound House now, and it is something I really would like to highlight and explore. It happened, and this is how we're moving forward from it. This is how we can, and other institutions who may have a shell mound as well. It's a learning opportunity for them on how to progress that kind of exhibit. And what I like to also tell visitors is just because that kind of exhibit, potentially a walk-in exhibit, may never return due to the various obstacles that we do face, it doesn't mean it won't give rise to a new kind of interpretive exhibit, like the virtual reality one, where we can still educate people on the mound, the layers of it, how it was built, and why it's so unique and amazing, and why we need to preserve these things. So those are just a couple of my ideas. So I'd be more than happy to start figuring out what panels, what text we can use. I'd like to discuss, the history of the excavation as well. The history of the swimming pool, when it was installed, when it was removed, why it was removed, the opportunity that it did present to the people, and what we face currently in this field, and what archaeologists today are currently facing all over Florida with
great.
this,
That would be
consistent
great.
flooding and hurricane opportunities.
Yay, you're doing so much, thank you.
That's something I'm very passionate about, and I do believe that it does need to be explored and shared with the people who do come all this way to see us. It's part of our history, and I'd like
Yeah.
to showcase it.
That'd be great, because the underground has been so special to us, that, and such a big part of the Mound House, that, thank you. We need to address it. Excellent. Any more on the underground?
No, that's it.
I want to build a glass house inside so that you open the doors and you can go in about 6 or 8 feet, but look all around and you're sheltered and you've got air to breathe and things like that. Even if it's as destroyed as it is, you get the feel for it.
Right, I agree. I would love to see something like that, but,
The Okmulgee Mounds, where I did my internship, they have their Earth Lodge there. They actually have something that's very similar to that.
Do they?
It's a plexiglass. It's just a regular
Plexiglass.
boardwalk up to it, and then the whole entrance is actually encased in plexiglass, and they actually have a intercom speaker that tells the story of the
That would
Earth
be
Lodge.
wonderful.
I do highly recommend taking a look on the National Park Service website about it and doing research into that Earth Lodge and how they interpret it. It was absolutely incredible to see. And it does, prevent anybody. Only issue with the underground, like Karina did say, it is completely pitch black. I mean, you cannot see anything. And the only worry I know that engineers, and myself also have is putting some kind of lights in there. Since the chamber does flood occasionally, it would just damage the lights again. So that's just the one thing that I feel like we have to figure out. I feel like that's the only hindrance that we're really facing, is how to light it up from within without electrocuting ourselves.
yeah.
So can you,
That
would you say the name of the site where this Earth Lodge
Yeah,
exists?
I'd like to check
Oh,
it.
yes, Okmulgee.
Could you spell that for
Yeah.
us? Close, close?
OCMULGEE.
Yes, that's it. I can't spell out of thin air. Yes.
MULGEE.
Oh,
Yes,
OCL.
yes. Okmulgee Mounds National Historic Park in Macon, Georgia. It is actually the home of the very first visitor center of the National Park Service. It is in the 1920s Art Deco version, and it is actually another reason why I got into cultural resource management, because I had to do a lot of emergency preparations when a lot of things happened to that out of date but older visitor services. It is worth a trip up there. It's amazing what the National Park Service has done with that. So I would look to them if you would like to do something like that in the future. I think
would
they're a
be a
really
good
great
trip.
example.
That would be a good trip for us to take.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Brianna, could you spell that again?
Sure. Miss Barber probably could.
O-C-M-U-L-G-E.
The only reason I know that is because I was a potter in my former life, and we always would have to go to Okmulgee, Georgia to get our clay.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
The best clay.
Yes.
Florida had no clay, but
Those Okmulgee mounds
Okay.
are, they are, Georgia clay, and those were funerary mounds. So they are an amazing thing. They have their own history. One of them was cut directly into for railroad construction.
Oh, boy.
And a lot of that was lost, a lot of that history and those artifacts. And it's an incredible site. So highly recommend taking a
Oh,
look
that would
into
be
it.
wonderful. Do you know what happened to the one up in Sarasota?
I actually don't. I'm not positive with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
we'll have
positive.
to,
Oh, the
have to
Osprey
check
Point
on
one?
that. No, I always forget the name.
trying to
So, I know, it's the Palmer House one. Oh,
they had an underground exhibit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
it's,
went up there as a day trip.
Wow.
Yeah, we did.
it's Osprey Point.
well, it could be Osprey Point, but isn't there a
Oh, historic Spanish Point?
Spanish
Yes.
Point.
Historic Spanish Point.
Spanish Point.
Spanish
Yes,
Point.
Spanish Point. I know
That's
what
it,
you're talking
Spanish.
about,
I'm
yes. From what I understand, from what Adam told me and a few other people, they are currently also struggling in some capacity with
'Cause they
that
were
shell
right,
mound as
yeah.
well. I haven't been to it just yet, but they're also struggling with the similar
Yeah.
problems that our mound is
Yeah, I
struggling
figure,
with.
because
the
they were right by
sloughing.
the water.
Yeah.
And not only that, they weren't affected by Ian, but they were certainly affected by Helene.
Milton,
and
Milton went right
So
in.
that whole area was flooded, and so
Yeah.
it'd be interesting
Yeah.
to know what their
How they're protecting
damage was
theirs.
and what they're doing.
What they're
Right.
doing.
I think
exactly.
Adam was trying to pursue communication with them to try to figure things out. How are they doing it? What's the best move? And I
Right.
know FPAN was also working with them as well, from what I understand. So, yeah, there's options.
Okay, great.
There's options.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
That's,
you,
that gives us hope. Okay, now we will do, unless there's anything more, we will go to member items. Carrie, you want to start?
I will definitely read through for our next meeting the other plan that I gotta find. So I'll definitely
Oh,
get
the
that on top
assessment.
of that. And if I don't have it, then I'll let you guys know. But I remember us all talking about it, but for some reason,
Yeah.
I will find that. Other than that, I hope everybody has a happy holiday, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Laura?
Well, I'm just so happy to be back at CELCAB after
A hiatus.
Many years.
so many years. Ian just chased me off the island for a few years. But fortunately, I'm back in my home and back at CELCAB, and I'm very happy about that.
And we welcome you. So are we. Thank you. Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And, yeah,
Barbara?
I think it was a very productive meeting.
It
And we've
was.
got a lot of work to do in
Yes, we do.
January.
January is going to be a biggie.
Nothing else to report.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. Ellen?
Actually, I have two items. I'm here to report from being the chief fundraiser at the Friends of the Mound House.
Yay.
That we have an event scheduled for January 31st, and it's a murder mystery dinner.
Ooh,
And it will be held, and it's a professional acting crew that we have hired.
cool.
And the theme will be, I don't remember the exact title, but it's basically based on Miami in the 1980s. So there'll be a costume contest.
Oh, great.
And tickets will be $150 a person, which will
Okay.
include a served dinner
Okay.
and a cocktail. And then we will have a cash bar as well. But because this is a fundraiser, hence the cash bar.
You said January 30th?
31st. It's
31st.
the Saturday, the last Saturday in
And where are you having this?
It's
At Mound House?
No, it's at Diamond Head.
At Diamond Head?
And at Diamond Head, because we're hoping to have 100 people. And as we well know, there is no fully open space to house 100 people on one level at the Mound
Right,
House.
right.
However, the
Excellent.
Mound House will be prominently included in all the promotion materials.
Ooh, that's going to be
And
fun.
tell me the theme, a costume party at Miami.
No, it's a murder mystery. It's like like the murder mysteries that they do on trains.
Right.
This is like that. Only the theme of the murder mystery will be Miami craziness of the 1980s.
Of the
And you'll be
80s.
encouraged, 1980s, and you'll be encouraged to dress in 1980s attire, which would
So we
probably
all
also
wear
have in our closets.
cocaine.
Cocaine earrings.
Oh, that's perfect, just like Don Johnson.
And tickets will be available for sale on, well, we'll connect it to the Mound House
Yeah.
website, and it's gonna be on social media. The company we've hired, Gibson Players.
Oh, what fun.
Has a large social media presence, so they're helping us promote it. So as soon as we get the tickets all organized.
Excellent.
It'll be out to go.
Excellent.
And-
Excellent.
And if we sell out at 100, we'll see if Diamond Head can give us more
Can
space.
give us more.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yay, that sounds great.
And then my next point is Natalie, who is with FPAN, really is very interested in us. Given the outcome of the election, she's not on. Can we set up, is it appropriate, Madam Chair, to invite a member of FPAN to come as standing item to our board, to our meetings, and set aside a slot so that we can ask them questions?
I don't know why not.
You know, that I
Be
think is an
excellent.
excellent idea, Ellen, and you know, we all had, Bill Grace is our historic advisor in a non-voting capacity.
Right.
And he was wonderful in bringing us the information we needed from a historical point of view. So why would Natalie not be as value added?
So rather
would
than
be
the
excellent.
historic non-voting member, she would be the FPAN non-voting member.
Correct.
That would be
So-
wonderful. What a
So-
resource.
Well, if she's interested in volunteering her time to do this.
And you know
Make
what,
it
my
when she can.
microphone wasn't on the entire time I was speaking about that.
Oops,
Oh,
and
no.
Mine wasn't either, I'm sorry.
All right, so we're gonna go over this from the top when I was pantomiming. And I will just say briefly that about the fundraiser, there is a fundraiser that will be held at Diamond Head on January 31st, and it will be a murder mystery dinner. And the theme will be the 1980s Miami, so think Miami Vice-ish kind of time frame, and there will be a costume contest. So, and tickets are $150 a person, and that includes a served dinner and one cocktail, and it's only one cocktail for included in your ticket price because it's a fundraiser.
Great.
And then my more focused on CELCAB, Natalie from FPAN has expressed a very strong interest in participating with
Wonderful.
CELCAB. And so I wondered if it would be appropriate to ask her to be being a standing, I'm not phrasing it right, I said it better
Advisor?
before.
Advisor?
Well, let Barbara do that part,
Resource?
because I just said, can she come to our meetings
Yeah,
and offer
non-voting.
advice as appropriate? And Barbara, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Actually, she could sort of be the archaeological advisor, although we
Yeah,
have
we
Brianna.
have Brianna.
Who's,
Yeah.
really sort of serving in that capacity. If she would come, and it wouldn't have to be every month, but
When she
maybe
could.
3 or 4 times a year, come and fill us in on what FPAN is doing. So she would be the FPAN liaison, if you
Liaison.
will, as
That'd
an
be better.
advisor to kind of give us a sense of where we fit into the scope of the important work we're doing on a statewide level.
And how about if we invite her to have a scheduled time to come, but if something comes up where she thinks we need to know, we invite her to come out of schedule?
Absolutely. And again, this is a volunteer role that she would play, and that would be her call as to what time she would be available. But yes, that would be sort of a standing representative from FPAN that could come and keep us abreast of the trends in archaeology in the state of Florida.
Great, great. Good suggestion. Okay. Tree.
Oh, how could I miss that? At the Christmas Tree Festival, the Friends of the Mound House will have a wonderful 6-foot-tall white tree, and I'm going to turn it over to Sherry, the creator of said tree.
Okay, the name of the tree, the theme this year is Sandyland's Candyland.
Aw,
You like that?
I do.
So, good. And,
Sandyland.
yeah, and it's,
That brilliant. Dang,
thank
Bo.
you.
She's brilliant every year with these tree
No.
names.
So we've got all the basics, and I'm just waiting to put on I'm waiting for the Christmas candy to come out in the colors, and we're gonna make little trees out of Reese's Pieces and that kind of stuff. But the dates are
The 12th and the 13th of December.
right.
And so on Friday, it
And-
kicks off at If you do the VIP ticket, it's at 4, otherwise it's 5:30, and it's at Margaritaville.
Margaritaville.
And the trees are going to be inside because Sherry was a little concerned that they were going to be out on the Sunset Terrace and blow red. And I
And
will
melt.
also say, putting on my fundraising hat again, I'm about a few keystrokes away from sending out a fundraising letter to all of the businesses on the island asking for gift cards for Sherry to be able to put on
Yeah,
the tree.
I'm calling them sugar plums. Barbara.
Adorable, it really is.
Thank you, thank you. So,
So good.
And I also put us down for a wreath, and
yes, so we're gonna do one.
we'll figure out a wreath.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll have 2
Yeah.
items. And as people may be aware, the bidding for the trees and the wreath is
That's what I was gonna say,
online.
it's online.
And there's a buy now price. So hopefully we're very lucky and raise a lot of money.
Yeah, I do 1,000 again. All right, Becky.
I just want to ditto everybody's remarks and say it's been a wonderful meeting, and thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara, for all of your, thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Karina, for keeping us open and going. And everybody else, happy holidays.
Okay, thank you. All right, no well, we have public, but I think anything else, Brianna? No, all right. Then, and my only comment is, we'll meet, we're not meeting in December, but we'll meet in January, and I believe it's the 15th,
It's the 22nd,
the 22nd. Oh,
January 22nd.
okay.
Wait, what was it? I'm sorry.
January 22nd, 1 o'clock here again. We're going to have quite an agenda, so it won't be a, yes, it's usually the fourth Thursday,
Right.
like we had
moved
kept.
it. We had to move it, I think, because of the holiday. I think
Yeah,
that was
oh,
the-
that's
yeah.
I-
it.
I-
So-
I'm going to just add, we've dumped a whole lot of stuff on Brianna, who, I have to say, I've just seen the collections thing, which Adam and then she helped with, but also she did a volunteer handbook, which is very, very detailed. And she's got a real job to do upstairs in the APC. And my thought is that if things get to be too much, you know, we're going to see you in February and March and April, probably too.
Right,
So-
so don't feel pressured.
Yeah.
How's that? Yeah, we're flexible.
That's of
On
course,
most things.
that's of course depending on Karina. Karina's the one who's going to tell her whether she's coming or not. So,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Just so you know what our wishes are, Karina.
Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, at this time, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Okay. A motion has been made. We are adjourned at 2:42. Good job. Thank you.